right this moment, or in the world, in Spectacular Bid.
From the Outriders, Jim Daly, Gary Hanfield, leading this field of 8 horses. Number 1, King Celebrity, number 1. And there's the sidewalks of New York. Mamie O'Rourke, and here's the field. Number 1, Martin Kaplan's King Celebrity, trained by R.J. Taylor, ridden by John Niehead Jr.
Only 2 wins in his entire career, Jack, but he was 4th in the Kentucky Derby, which gives him some kind of a chance.
Number 2, General Assembly, Bertman Firestone, the owner, Leroy Jolly, the trainer, Angel Cordero Jr., the rider.
Look you well at him, Jack. A stamp of his father's secretariat, a beautiful chestnut colt. He's won 3 stakes. 2nd in the Kentucky Derby, trained by Leroy Jolly, a brilliant young man. He could be tough.
And here's the big one, number 5 in the black and blue, colors of Hawksworth Farm, Spectacular Bid, trained by Bud Delp, ridden by Ronnie Franklin.
For him, Jack, reasonably on edge. Look at that. Look at those stats. And the month of August is something for him to avoid. He's only been beaten twice in his life, both in August of last year. Otherwise, 14 victories on this brilliant colt.
Number 6, Screen King, Flying Z Stables, Luis Barrera, and Cash Asmussen, the rider.
I spoke to Luis in the paddock. He acknowledged the 3rd in the Preakness was a good race. Some thought he might be closer. He's back home. He might be tough.
Number 7, Gallant Best, Viola Summer, the owner, Frank Martin, the trainer, George Martins, the rider.
He's the most seasoned 3-year-old with his 18 starts in this Belmont today, and he recently won a 1.5-mile race, Jack, and distance is important.
Number 8 here is Golden Act, owned by Merino Beach Stables, Lauren Rattel, the trainer, and Sandy Hawley, the rider.
No prettier color than that golden chestnut, and no better record for consistency than his 14 times in the money in 14 starts.
An honest horse. Number 9, Coastal, owned by William Hagan Perry, trained by David Whiteley, ridden by Ruben Hernandez.
David Whiteley, a fine young trainer. Notice, Jack, no blinkers. Very courageous of Whiteley, but for a reason. This colt won blinkers in his last 3 victories. Whiteley took him off, and I'm sure because it relaxes horses more when you want to rate them going a distance.
Going the distance. And number 10, Mystic Era, owned by Charles E. Festa Jr., trained by Heliodoro Agustinus and ridden by Jorge Velasquez.
Heliodoro, an old friend of yours, rode Forgo, a fine trainer. This colt did win a race at 1 mile and 3/8, and he has one of the world's great distance riders on his back, Jorge Velasquez.
That's the field for the running of the Belmont Stakes. There are 8 horses going, $161,000 to the winner, but everybody here wants to see if Spectacular Bid can do it.
Now is a long shot player's paradise, but forget about it. Nobody's going to collect. King Celebrity is 90 to 1, will probably close at 100. General Assembly 12 to 1. Spectacular Bid is now 1 to 5. Screen King 20. Gallant Best is 80, will go higher. Golden Act is 9. Coastal is 7 to 2, and the New Yorkers are saying this is the upset horse. Mystic Area is 90. Have a good race, Jack.
Jim, your major job is to see if there's any problem shaping up, any horses getting difficult to handle. How is the field now?
Spectacular Bid seems to be on his toes, sweating a little bit. This crowd's got him a little excited.
You think the crowd here that close to him has got him a little on edge, and
yes,
he's trotting?
He's doing a little jig on the way to the post here, and the jock's getting tied on, fixing his stirrup. The rest of the field seems to be going perfect. Everyone's settled down pretty good. He looks like the only horse on his toes.
Jack,
now,
Jim
is that
Daly,
a good sign to be on your toes?
Yeah, he's better be today.
Yeah. Get their attention, huh?
Jim, you're going to turn around and look over the rest of the field. Anything that you see worth mentioning? Anybody out of line? Anybody not
No,
quiet?
everything looks very good. King Celebrity's here. The one horse. Golden Axe is very calm. Green King. Looks like the bid's the only horse shook up.
A well-behaved field of 3-year-olds. The crowd roars again, and maybe Spectacular Bid even more on edge because of that noise, Jack.
Absolutely.
Let's jog up, everybody. You got a minute. Come on.
Well,
Bring all
he
the
is a
field
little
up,
bit
boys.
stirred up, as you see right there. Now, don't think that we're blowing an alarm bell. This is not meaning that he's not going to win because
Come
he's
on,
on the
Dusty.
muscle.
You got less
But
than
he
a
does
minute.
react to
Jog
the
up.
crowd noise. He is competitive.
What has been his history in loading in the gate, Frank?
The assistant starter and the starter have been instructed by his connections, Jack, to let Ronnie Franklin make the decision. If Ronnie calls for help, an assistant starter will come in with him. If Ronnie thinks he can make it on his own, they'll follow his wishes. Right now, Jack, he looks like he's quieting down as he approaches the starting gate.
Okay, Bill.
There's Cordero on General Assembly number 2. He's rather calm and placid at the moment.
Okay, Bill.
Very well behaved. Outriders with most of these ponies. Sometimes we're criticized in America, Jack, but our riders reduce and the crowds are close to our horses, and we need the help they give. Well, there's number 1. He's putting his goggles down.
And
Here's John Ned, and that means they're starting to load.
John Niehead Jr. And here comes Spectacular Bid now.
You'll notice a man will hold on to the tail of General Assembly just to steady him, give him confidence to know that he's comfortable and accompanied at both ends.
Cordero looks comfortable, doesn't
He hasn't even put his goggles down yet, Jack, but he'll tend to that when he gets in.
Cordero and General Assembly are in.
And a man will handle him. And you see the man on his tail, Jack.
Now Franklin in with Spectacular Bid.
Apparently, Jack, he has requested no company.
There's Screen King. Gallant Best. And let's throw it up to the man now who's going to call the race. Here is Marshall Cassidy.
Thank you, Jack. Now we got Coastal going into the back of the gate now. Coastal, ridden by Ruben Hernandez, the final horse to be loaded. Mystic Era, Jorge Velasquez aboard. They're all in line. And they're off. King Celebrity on the outside is Gallant Best. Gallant Best takes the lead now by a neck. On the inside again is Spectacular Bid. Then Golden Act. Farther out is Coastal and a Mystic Era. Past the stands for the first time now. It's Gallant Best leading the way by 2. Spectacular Bid is second by a length. On the outside is Coastal in third. Golden Act racing fourth. General Assembly in fifth by 2. Along the inside is King Celebrity, followed by Screen King and Mystic Era around the far turn. Gallant Best has the lead by 4. It's Spectacular Bid in second by a length. Then General Assembly is third by a half length. On the outside, Coastal in fourth by a length and a half. Golden Act in fifth by 4. Then King Celebrity is sixth by 2. Screen King in seventh, and Mystic Era is eighth. The first quarter in 23 and 2. They are really blazing away onto the backstretch now, and Gallant Best has the lead, but by only a neck. Moving up on the outside now is Spectacular Bid, and Spectacular Bid on the outside puts ahead in front. Gallant Best on the rail back into second now by 3. Spectacular Bid draws clear now by a full length. Gallant Best on the rail in second by 4. General Assembly is third by 3. Then Coastal in fourth by a length and a half. Golden Act on the outside in fifth by 4. King Celebrity in fifth. On the outside is Screen King, followed by Mystic Era. Down the backstretch, the half in 47 and 3, 3/4 in 1:11 and 1. They continue to set a torrid pace. It is Spectacular Bid in front by 3. Gallant Best on the outside, but there goes General Assembly on the inside. General Assembly is now second by a half length. Gallant Best dropping back in second by a length and a half. Coastal moving up now in third. Golden Act also gaining ground around the far turn. Spectacular Bid has the lead by 2. General Assembly is second by a length. Gallant Best still in third by a neck. Golden Act on the outside in fourth. Coastal on the rail. There goes Screen King also moving up around the far turn. It is Spectacular Bid in command by 3. General Assembly is second by a length. Golden Act on the outside moving up in third. Coastal gains ground on the rail at the top of the stretch. It is Spectacular Bid. He has the lead by 3. Coastal on the inside is moving up toward leader now and down the stretch. Spectacular Bid on the outside. It is Coastal on the inside. Those two now vying for the lead, and Coastal puts ahead in front. Spectacular Bid back into second. Golden Act is third, approaching the 16th pole. It is an upset now. Coastal has the lead by 3. Spectacular Bid on the inside, Coastal on the outside. It is Coastal in front. And under the wire, an upset in this, the Belmont Stakes. Coastal, the supplemented horse, Coastal, owned by William Hagen Perry, trained by David Whiteley, ridden by Ruben Hernandez. The upset winner of the Belmont Stakes. A very tight photo between Spectacular Bid and Golden Act for place and show positions. In the Belmont, the time for the race, 2 minutes, 28 and 3/5 seconds. And now back to Jack.
Marshall, thank you. We're all as stunned probably as you are, and there's 60,000 plus. As we said earlier before, upset was the last thing in anybody's mind here at Belmont Park, but that's what horse races are about.
Well, Jack, if there were the upset, this was obviously the horse. He was the only one that had not been defeated by Spectacular Bid. He came off a brilliant race here, and Jimmy Daly is now picking him up. It's his practice to bring the winner back to the winner's circle. We hope we can get a word with Jimmy Daly when he turns around. Just look at the rider, Ruben Hernandez, petting Coastal for a job well done. A brilliant ride.
It was going along according to plan, wasn't it? With the big horse, Biggs, firing up in the back stretch as he's wont to do. Only this time he got caught.
I don't want to be one to point a finger. The Achilles heel, they felt that if Franklin pushed the button too early, moved too soon, it might compromise him. I think Coastal beat him fair and square, but he did commit himself a mile away from home.
Well, Gallant Best set a blistering early pace there, didn't he?
The first quarter was very fast, but the old pro riders took back off it.
All right, an upset here. They cost $20,000 supplementary entry fee, but they knew what they were doing.
Well spent. His value, who knows the arithmetic of the value of Coastal after this victory in the Belmont Stakes. Now you notice at this point, Franklin has gone to a left-hand stick and apparently tiring a little. Spectacular Bid comes out under the pressure. Already, Ruben Hernandez has committed his horse Coastal to the wire, and he is going after him and has in fact collared him here as they come by the 8th pole. The roar of the crowd, and they realize that Spectacular Bid was beat at this point. As a matter of fact, Jack, Golden Act, taking advantage of the fact he'd been softened up, come on and got him for place. Yep. I'm afraid those boos are for Franklin, not the Gallant horse.
Which is unfortunate. They love you when you win, don't they?
But there he is crossing the wire. A surprise, the blinkers off.
Well, this is the horse, so fresh, lightly raced, won the Peter Pan Stakes here by 13 lengths, had all the earmarks of what we used to call lurkers. Yep. Those horses that wait for the Belmont to pounce on a Spectacular Bid.
Here he comes. David Whiteley has been almost unbeatable around here this spring, Jack, and he keeps it up.
This is the unofficial order of finish. Coastal, Golden Act, Spectacular Bid, and Screen K.
Yeah, before, because when he was 2-year-old, he got hurt in the right eye, and then he put blinkers to protect him. A cop blinkers, you know.
And as soon as the eye was well, he wanted to take them off.
Yes, last time in the Peter Pan, he broke sideways, he broke the blinkers, and he won by 13. Then he said, I guess he don't need it anymore. He said.
That's the way all of us trainers learn, Jack.
This is official now, and Coastal paid $10.80, $4.80, and $2.10. The second horse, Golden Act, $5.40 and $2.10. And the third horse, Spectacular Bid, $2.10. It's official. You're in the history books, Ruben. You want to take another look at it?
Yeah, yes. Take a look with us, Ruben. Step up close where you can see it, and tell us, in your words, what was your strategy? Watch yourself right here in the gate. Number 9, Coastal.
Well,
did he break well?
He did break very good, and in fact, he was a little bit ranked the first part because the jockey inside him, you know, they was trying to go to the leader, I guess, and he got a little run the first 8th of a mile, 3:16.
Did you and Mr. Whiteley plan to take back?
Well, yes, because I think, and he thinks that's the best way to win, you know, to run.
Does he rate kindly for you now as you go around the first turn?
After the first quarter of a mile, he was very nice, you know, and he did whatever I want to with him.
Doesn't look like he's fighting you at all here.
No, he didn't. He went very well over there.
Now you've got yourself in position A, outside where there's no problem, and yet you're not losing much ground.
Yes, I was behind the Spectacular Bid, and the dirt started, he was checking his head a little bit, so I figured, you know, the dirt was bothering him, so I put him in the outside in the clear, and then he was running very good there.
Well, that's lots of times, as Ruben says, the dirt will bother a horse, and a horse that had an eye injury, maybe he was sensitive about it.
Right, I think right.
So you took him out where it wouldn't hit him.
I took him out where he was clear so the dirt don't hit him, and then he started running again. And I leave in the half of my pole. I asked him a little bit, and he responded me very well. And for him for home, I know I got him.
When did you make your decision to go on the inside, which you eventually did, Ruben?
3/8 pole. I was in the 4.5 pole when I was behind Cordero, and I follow him. And then in the 3/8...
You're coming now?
Yes. And then I follow him, and in 3/8 pole,
Oh, you're following Cordero, I see.
Yes.
Look.
And then I was in the 3/8 pole, I was already behind him, and he went up a little bit, and I went through there.
You see him, Jack? The yellow following Cordero, number 2, through on his move. They're both moving along inside a gallant best.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now tell us how he reacts here, Ruben.
Well, right there, I start hitting him, and every time I hit him, he responds very good. And Cordero went a little bit out there, and I got plenty of room now.
Right here.
And I see Frankie hit him his horse. He went out a little bit.
You hit him left-handed?
Yes, he did. And starting going out, and he got plenty of room for me there, so I went inside there now.
What a gutsy decision, young man.
Yes, there didn't look that much room to me, Ruben.
Plenty of room.
He was a very thin horse.
He's young and strong, Jack. And
after that, he was, very clear. He went a little bit wide out the others.
well, you certainly fit him, as you've done a lot of horses around here. And our sincere congratulations, Ruben Hernandez. A great thrill, isn't it?
Thanks for that.
Marvelous ride. They're waiting for you for the presentation, Ruben. The governor and everybody, thank you very much, and congratulations.
Congratulations from us.
Saw 3/4 and 111, a mile and 36. I thought Golden Act actually was going to win the race then. It was a marvelous race, and I'm afraid young Franklin is in for a lot of criticism.
Well, in what way do you think?
I thought he pulled the trigger a little bit too fast.
Went down on the gas
Gallant
too
Best,
soon?
he had no reason to chase Gallant Best that quick. Especially at 3/4 and 11, a mile and 36. There was no reason. Gallant Best had to come back to him. He just pulled the trigger too fast.
He wore an isinglass, a clear plastic blinker, and he smashed it against the side of the gate the last time he ran, so he didn't need it.
I told you how brilliant we trainers are, Jack.
That's right, aren't you that brilliant? Governor, what about you?
Whittle shows what a $15,000
plans for Coastal.
It's a long ways off, and we just hope the horse comes out of this race, then we're going to see.
Sure.
Your rider said he chose at this moment to go inside because Spectacular Bid was drifting under left-hand pressure.
Well, it looks like he made the right choice.
Did you have a little butterflies when he decided?
I thought he was a dead horse on the backside at one point, to be honest with you. And then when he started to move and he was trapped down, looked like he was trapped on the inside, but then he made the right choice and got through, and it certainly makes all of us feel better, and he rode a tremendous race.
Yes, he did. Mr. Denny Phipps, what did you think of an upset like this? Were you ready for it?
You know, when you get a horse like Coastal trained and owned by people like these, you can have a great race, and that's what we had today.
I agree with you. This young man is threatening us all, and how, isn't he?
Right.
He'll run us out of town. Well, there's the finish. Coastal about 3 lengths. What a...
The sidewalks of New York. All right, me and Mamie O'Rourke, and here's the field. Number 1, Martin Kaplan's King Celebrity, trained by R.J. Taylor, ridden by John Niehed Jr.
Only 2 wins in his entire career, Jack, but he was 4th in the Kentucky Derby, which gives him some kind of a chance.
Number 2, General Assembly.
Right this moment, or in the world, is Spectacular Bid.
From the Outriders, Jim Daly, Gary Hanfield, leading this field of 8 horses. Number 1, King Celebrity, number 1. Bertman Firestone, the owner, Leroy Jolly, the trainer, Angel Cordero Jr., the rider.
Look you well at him, Jack. A stamp of his father's secretariat, a beautiful chestnut colt. He's won 3 stakes, 2nd in the Kentucky Derby, trained by Leroy Jolly, a brilliant young man. He could be tough.
And here's the big one, number 5 in the black and blue, colors of Hawksworth Farm, Spectacular Bid.